Welcome to this special edition of The Current Report. It's fair to say there's never been a better time to be a sports fan, whether that means watching Premier League football or soccer, women's basketball or the NFL. And that's largely thanks to the rise of streaming platforms which have expanded access to fans of all ages. To explore this evolution further, I'm joined by Gerttula, the Executive Vice President of Digital at CBS Sports, News and Stations and Entertainment. Welcome, Jeffrey, to The Current Report. You must have seen a lot on your watch over the last, 13, 15 years at CBS Sports. But we can safely say that one thing's for sure, live sports is as popular as ever.
Yeah, I've seen a lot in the 15 years in this role. But yeah, sports has never been stronger. Just Super Bowl 58 was amazing. It was one of a kind, the biggest television event of all time, a record-breaking day for Paramount Plus, the biggest SVOD sign-up day in the history for any platform, according to Antenna. It was just massive.
Those are some staggering numbers that you talk about, but it's not just the NFL, which is sort of at the vanguard of American sports. It's across all sports, right?
Yeah, Paramount Plus set records for viewership for all the events, for all the major sports that it streams. So college football, college basketball, golf, soccer. 2023 was the high watermark for Paramount Plus for all those sports. And even just going back to the Super Bowl, the Super Bowl stream was 50% bigger than the previous year. That's crazy. So there's the trends right now are remarkable. We're just seeing this moment of significant macro trend shift in consumption of sports on streaming platforms.
Of course, your streaming options are building on your tremendous legacy in linear too, and that continues to do very well.
Yeah. So we're unique in that since the inception of our streaming platform and core to our strategy is we have all of the major events on CBS, also on Paramount Plus. Mm-hmm. So we're unique in that we don't have a subset of rights, a smaller set of rights. We have the major events. So we have the NFL on Sundays. We're going to have the Big Ten. We've had the SEC. We're going to have the big PGA Tour events, the big college basketball events.
On that point, we're seeing a big rise of interest in sports that may not have been always front and center, mainstream live sports. I'm thinking in particular of women's sports. We've seen a huge surge of interest, especially thinking about the women's college basketball tournament recently. To what extent does streaming lift all boats?
Yeah, so it's interesting. So just putting an event or a match in a streaming service doesn't lift anything, right? I mean, it's not. So that piece, I don't think, is as valuable to emerging sports as the space to drive storytelling, because that's ultimately interest is driven by the context, understanding the characters, the personalities, the teams, the storylines underlying a league. That's what drives it. I mean, even the women's college basketball tournament, right? The story of Iowa and Caitlin Clark and LSU and South Carolina being as good as they were. Those stories, I think, were available and created the buzz that drove the amazing ratings that we saw around women's college basketball. If you don't cover it, and you don't create the stories, and you don't do the storytelling component of it, it doesn't move the needle. What streaming lets us do is it gives us the space to cover more, and I think that's where we're going to see the benefit.
Yeah, I love that way of talking about it. Fascinating. In terms of advertisers, obviously this is all pretty good news, this extra space you talk about. Yeah. How are advertisers and brand partners showing interest in your offerings?
Yeah, no, there's been quite a bit of interest. I think sports is unique in that in a world where so much content consumption is fragmented, sports is one of the last kind of points of glue, right? Where people will come around to watch a single event live at the same time. And sports is, I think, carrying that now, whereas live TV historically used to more broadly. Now that's what sports. So what sports offers is it offers a unique moment of live consumption from people who are very passionate with big brands, talent. And then the other thing that we're doing is we're supplementing it with more content that makes it a one-stop shopping experience for sports fans. So we've added CBS Sports HQ, which is a 24/7 sports highlights channel. For our soccer properties, we've supplemented that with what we think is a pretty unique innovation in the space with the Golasso network, which is a 24/7 soccer network that shows some of the best matches in the world, and then highlights in news shows and morning shows.
You know, as you look across all of your properties from, CBS Sports to the various channels you've just talked about, does this allow you to sort of get a better read, a better understanding of your audience, your fan base, who's watching?
So sports are a tremendous acquisition vehicle for our streaming for our streaming platform. So the NFL is the number one acquisition driver. Soccer is the number 5 acquisition driver. Sports, because of the passion, they just drive tremendous interest and they're great ways to move people in the service. So for us, we're also, because our service is broader than just sports, it's entertainment also, and we have 90% of the consumption coming from those sports audiences are coming through entertainment content. So we're driving people to sample and try other types of content. So yes, understanding the audience is core to that strategy, because just driving acquisition isn't enough. We need to retain audiences, and so we have to find the right content, the right series, the right shows to offer to sports fans in order to keep them in the service.
In terms of the programmatic side of things, which we talk about a lot here, how is programmatic enabling buyers to find those audiences you're talking about?
As we continue to build out our digital streaming products and our sports portfolio on our streaming platforms, there's just going to be more opportunity, more PG, more PMP opportunity for advertisers to reach these young, vibrant audiences in the NFL, in golf, in college football, in soccer, where advertisers already are. We see that this is just a growing space and a great place for advertisers to focus.
Well, I think that's a great place to end it. So thank you so much for these insights.
Cool, of course. No, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.